What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine, and as always, we'll be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career. All right, Sean.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh, thanks. Oh, are you hosting today?
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
How have you been, friend?
Pretty
what
good.
What you got going on?
I mean, if you're hosting, I would expect like a nice cheese platter.
Oh, saw back order. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Cheese shortage.
Yeah, you know. Held up at the ports.
Oh, the ports. Is that still a thing?
Apparently.
Can we all just agree that a cheese platter is just such a beautiful thing?
Oh my God.
What's your favorite type of cheese on a platter? Yeah. Can we guess?
Oh, sure.
Can we guess? I bet you're probably a soft cheese person. You probably like a nice fancy cheese. You don't want to say yes, but you do.
Well,
but it's
I feel like it just depends.
Like
I'm such a picker. I do love a brie. I love a brie that's like, but not just plain brie. It's got to be like delightfully like melted with cranberries and walnuts or something like that.
Sounds
disgusting.
So
good.
You know what I like?
What? Cheddar.
Sharp cheddar. The sharper, the better.
The man's man.
Oh, yeah. Just a nice like, what's that? Is it Cracker Barrel cheese? Is that the
Cracker Barrel? Yeah.
They make the cheese, right?
They make a restaurant and they make a cheese.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, it's the best.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Cracker Barrel is
or
that
a nice
is bomb
Cabot.
cheese.
Nice
Sure,
Cabot extra sharp.
Yeah.
Whew.
Get
me all excited.
At these dinner parties, I found a lady who makes these charcuterie boards.
At these dinner parties? What are you like frequent a lot of dinner parties?
I was combining two sentences in my brain. Whenever we have like dinner parties or like parties with like the girls or whatever, I bring these cheese boards, and it's like a lady who makes them. Because if you make your own cheese board, it's like outrageously expensive because you have to buy 1,000 different kinds of yeah. So I found this lady who makes them, and they're so good, and she's so good at it. So you know what? Outsource. If you don't have them, if it's not in the budget to make a cheese board, outsource it.
Outsource it. That's a great way to get into the topic, which is, I'll let you introduce it.
Cheese boards.
Cheese boards.
No, we are talking tech today. Technology, advancements.
The future of construction. That's exciting.
What's happening in construction these days? Who can be sure?
I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on even within my own life. So how can I be sure? But no, this is very exciting. The future of construction.
I went down some serious rabbit holes in the research of this. So it's going to get squirrely. I can already tell.
The notes that you have presented to me looked like the writings of a mad woman.
They did. Yeah,
so I'm excited to see what research you did and what type of any conspiracy theories in there. I'm sure we can piece some together.
Of course, obviously.
But no, it's exciting because we look at a lot of tech integration on a small scale, like within our company, but construction in general is one of the largest industries in the world.
Correct,
it's what builds our buildings and builds our roads and our infrastructure. So there is like some insane things happening on those like larger scale projects and industries that eventually will trickle down. I think we'll be like kind of the last to see them, but it's crazy and exciting and pretty cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm excited to learn about what you rabbited today.
Oh my gosh. All right. So the future of construction.
Yeah, get your notes together there.
There's no getting them together. They're so all over the place.
That's perfect.
Because I went down so many avenues of this. So do you know what BIM stands for?
Yeah, I think it's business in migration, which is moving your business. No, I have no idea. Tell me. Please tell me.
Building information modeling. So this, like everything that I looked up was like kind of tied back to this concept.
Okay.
Which is where most of the like advancements are happening relating to this kind of thing.
Okay.
So business information modeling is
business or building information modeling?
Sorry. Building information modeling.
Okay.
I do apologize. The definition is a process involving the generation and management of digital representations of the physical and functional characteristics of places. It is to be used by people who plan, design, construct, operate, and maintain buildings and diverse physical infrastructure.
Okay.
That is the overreaching definition of it. However, the U.S. version of it is an object-oriented building development tool that utilizes 5D modeling concepts, information technology, and software interoperability to design, construct, and operate a building project as well as communicate its details.
Wow, so simple.
Not vague at all.
Not vague and not like way too wordy and confusing. But
in my research, everyone just kept saying BMI or BIM, not BMI, different BIM, as if it was this concept that everyone should know about. And I was like, what is that? What are we talking about? And then it couldn't be more vague, this definition. But what do you think? When you hear that, what do you think?
I think it sounds like you're basically building these projects in the metaverse, like building a cloud remote version of a project, and that way everyone can kind of collaborate on it. And especially on large scale infrastructure things, there is so many different, like, very technical specific things that go into it that everyone needs to, like, contribute in one place. Where with something like what we do, it's like I come up with the design, I send it over to the architect. It's like fairly simple. It's not like complexities that span like every trade. It's fairly cut and dry for what we do. So it's not as crazy where you're essentially building this thing before it's built. And did you get any like information on what the five dimensions are? Because that sounds kind of crazy.
It's what you said.
Oh, okay.
Building it in the metaverse.
Okay.
You have a wonderful interpretation of it.
Thank you.
With no information.
I appreciate
no previous
that.
information.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much exactly what it is. So when I hear this, I know a person who works for Ryan Homes. Do you know what Ryan Homes is?
Yeah.
They're everywhere around here. I don't know how far reaching they are. I think it's just Eastern Seaboard. So anyway, they are a company that builds some single family homes, mostly multifamily homes, like condos, townhomes, that kind of stuff. But they buy huge plots of land and build these things, and there's a ton of them. They're a massive company. But they were I was listening to the story about the Pennsauken Mart, which is also another thing that was near us.
Yeah.
They owned this plot of land. It was like, it sits at the corner of two somewhat busy highways near us. It was a great plot of land. So Ryan Homes bought this plot of land when the Pennsauken Mart went to crap, and
belly up, as they say.
It went belly up. And they bought this plot of land because they thought it was a great location. However, it had to have like a massive amount of remediation or
like environmental.
Yes, it was
environmental remediation.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which it was like a breakdown at every point of this development because no one was talking to each other and no one knew. So they bought this plot of land. They didn't know they were going to have to do that much remediation, and then they had to do so much, and then it was just this big thing, and then that development took like
15 years.
Yeah, it took forever to get done.
Yeah.
I don't even know it's done. They've been doing it forever, and I'm not sure if it's even completely done yet. But something like this BIM, God, I'm going to keep saying BMI, is where everyone who is a part of it would have access to everything all in one place. So it's basically they build this building or whatever they want to do in the web space. They build it. It's not just like a CAD drawing where it's like an idea. It's a concept. It's like they have every single detail in there, and everyone's able to access it all at once. So in that case, even like all that remediation and stuff, you'd be able to see all of that in that CAD-esque drawing. Do you know what I mean?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it sounds pretty crazy, but I guess it's just like an advanced way of planning and preparation. I mean, the more things that you can figure out and like sort of like we say it a lot, like me and Ant when we're talking about something, it's like you want to kind of build it in your head first.
Yeah.
Like when you're going about a certain detail or something, you want to kind of like build the project in your head and wrap your mind around it.
Yeah.
This is like taking that to like the nth degree and like every single detail. But yeah, it sounds pretty wild.
It's pretty crazy. And like in like the stuff that I saw, it had like absolutely everything in there from like the development side, but then even like contractors could go in and look and be like, okay, is this wall 12 inches on center or 16 inches on center? Okay, it's, you know.
Well, what's the difference between that and just like what we do, uploading a set of 2D plans to Google Drive, and you'd be able to see it's a 12 inch on center wall or it's a 16 inch on center wall. Like what other things are in there?
So this is interactive. So what we do is simple. You are just building a deck. This is like for people who are building like skyscrapers. So you can see everything from, it's interactive. You can see every like stage of the thing being built. You can see excavation to framing to sheathing to like every layer you're able to see basically. So our plans, we have plans and we have renderings, and there's nothing in between the two.
Yeah.
So this is a way to kind of bridge that gap where you can see both things working together.
Okay.
Beyond just like static images. Do you know what I mean? And also with this, it also integrates into like VR and
AR, augmented reality as well.
AR.
Yeah.
And you can show people, like the clients can like walk through their project before it's finished.
Huh.
You can, like, some of them were saying you can like stand in the middle of the project in VR and watch it being built around you and like do stuff like that. So it's very,
It sounds
it's
dangerous.
really crazy. And also
Hopefully
you
you're wearing a hard hat when that's happening.
Also, you can tie it to 3D printers. So like you can print either like to scale models of whatever you're built, this thing that you're building. Let's say it's a skyscraper. You can build it, or you can hook up 3D printers to go around and do things like do layout for you.
Huh.
Or all that kind of stuff. So it's
okay.
It gets a little like trippy with how like integrated it is to reality.
Yeah, it sounds wild.
It's a little weird, yeah.
Sounds crazy.
But anyway, the whole theory is just so that like everyone is involved at the inception of the process. So everyone has access to all of these things. Everyone's involved.
Okay.
But then it's kind of like, who's the God figure that starts this thing?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, who is like, it feels like it would take like an absolute eternity to like create a layer at every single juncture of the project so that it could like, I guess there's probably some sort of like AI assistance in creating like the models, and I don't know.
See, that I don't know. And it does seem like at a certain point it's like, just build it. Like,
yeah.
Stop thinking about it. Just build it.
Yeah.
Seems like you're taking too much time on the front end.
Yeah, that's probably why everything's so expensive. They're building it twice in the metaverse. Thanks, Zuckerberg. All right. Well, do we have anything else like on that specifically? I feel like we should have brought in an expert on the BIM because it's all very confusing, but it's exciting, and kind of what I'm taking away from it is moving into the future, really processing like every detail of the project and, creating that communication of every single step and being able to pull up not only the plans as a whole, but like something that we could integrate is we can do smaller drawings of like certain little details. Like here's a cutaway of the column detail, like that's something that's like sort of represented on the plans. It usually just says composite trim on column, but like actually drawing like a cutaway of exactly what it's going to look like. Little things like that, I think could help. And that's like something that we could sort of integrate into our business right now that, isn't quite what that is, but it's kind of taking that idea that the more time you take prepping, the more efficient you are in the field.
Yeah. I think the end goal with this is that like eventually you plug in some robots to whatever this is doing and then the robots do it. But obviously
they're not there yet?
They're not even close. No.
Okay. All right.
But that seems like what the
So that's kind of like that's kind of like the base software that's going to drive a lot of the innovation around it. Is that kind of like what your research is showing?
Yeah.
Like everything's based off of this platform.
Well, it's not just one platform. This isn't just one platform. It's just like
that's just
collections
the term.
of yes.
Like, are there some programs that use this that you can touch on? Mm-hmm. Do you have any of those?
Oh no, I don't.
Okay,
but there are. I was more fascinated by the concept of it rather than like the actual than shouting out the software. But there are different things that can do all this stuff.
Huh. All right, we'll look into that.
And it's like a evolving thought.
Right.
Because I think people are like a lot of this stuff, which I guess in anything in technology versus construction, it's going to be like a cost-based thing. So a lot of this stuff is like cool, but is it really worth the money? So is it worth investing all this front end work?
Yeah.
Or just do it?
Yeah. Well, something that makes a lot of sense. Like you're talking about Ryan Homes, like huge developers. It's like they might have they might build 5,000 homes a year, probably even more than that. I don't even know, but it might be like 15 different like models that they build. So it's like they could have this like super detailed thing where you can pull up every detail of every tiny little space, like what the layout of the shelves are in a certain closet, like things like that would be worth it because you're reproducing this model so many times where for us that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but maybe in the future it will. I feel like there's got to be like an AI assisted part of the process to developing the drawings and the models. But I don't know. That's just my speculation.
Yeah, but AI is only as good as whatever's already out there. It's just a compilation of what's already out there. So at some point you need to create the thing so then AI can recreate the thing.
Yeah, I guess.
But all right, anyway, so we'll move on from that.
Yeah, let's move on from that. My head hurts.
Yeah. It was weird. Anyway.
It was weird.
Let's talk about robots.
The future's so weird.
You want to talk about robots?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Where are we at with this? We're trying to hire somebody. Why don't we just hire a robot? Are we there yet? Are we close enough to that yet?
We are not there yet.
Okay.
We did look up some videos earlier of like a robot doing drywall and it looked like it was drunk and really slow. It was not. It was cool.
It was kind of cool, yeah. It really did look like. But the thing on that video, and that was the one that before we looked it up, I was like, I think I've seen a robot put up drywall, and it was that video that you were able to pull up. But on that video, it said like 2017 or 2018 or something.
2018.
So it's like, are they updating these in secret? And like, what are they capable of now? That's scary.
So this is where like the conspiracy theories come in, I feel like, because like if any of these techs get so humanoidly accurate, they're going to be bought immediately by the military and the military is going to use them before they get to be drywall robots. So
true.
Also, there's not too much of a market for drywall robots because the people who are doing the drywall cannot afford these like $700,000 robots.
Not with that attitude.
So, I mean, I guess if you somehow had some sort of massive operation and you had a fleet of these drywall robots, but...
Well, it would probably be like drywall by Amazon. Something like that. Like a big... Or like Lowe's can install your flooring and drywall, but they just send out robots to your house.
Yeah, sure. Eventually,
something like that. That could like, make that initial capital investment.
Yeah.
Scary.
Sort of. But I think so far the money in humanoid robotics is in the military. I think that there's going to be robot soldiers. Well, not me. The internet thinks that there's going to be robot soldiers before there are robot drywallers. They do have robot...
How sad is that? How sad is that?
How is that sad?
I don't know.
Why would you want people over there dying in war?
We shouldn't have war. Like, all this tech is going into like, let's make this ultimate killing machine instead of like making something that can build our homes. Well, then we'd be out of jobs.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of like a dark, like, I don't know, thing. It's just like, all right, these robots are pretty cool. Let's make them kill people.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of the cost of war. They already have like drones.
That's
which
true.
are basically killing robots.
That's true.
So we're already kind of there.
God, the world's such a dark place.
We don't have like humanoid
killing machines
quite yet. But
yeah,
I mean, maybe they do. Who knows? Who knows what the military has? They probably have.
I'm sure they definitely
stuff.
do. Have you seen the? The drywalling robot. It was very slow, and it just looked like someone that was like very drunk, but like trying so hard to keep it together and like just put up one sheet of drywall. It was like really funny. Which there's probably a lot of drywallers out there that are like that. Drywall is very boring. It's repetitive,
slow and drunk.
It probably lends itself like a lot of trades to stuff like that, shenanigans. But have you ever seen that the Boston Dynamics? They're the ones that put out like all the videos.
Yes.
And it's like a dog looking robot and like it's a guy like kicking it and stuff, and it just like it will rebalance itself, like it won't fall down.
Yeah.
It like braces itself, and it looks so like light, like alive. It's so crazy.
The video looks fake because it just looks like an animation. It's like it doesn't look real for sure.
Yeah.
I did not believe that it was real for a long time because it looks so like
it just looks
insane. It looks like it couldn't possibly be real.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the drywaller have to be drunk when that little dog can really...
that's where the budget's at. The budget's is there for killer dogs and not for drywallers. The drywaller was like something somebody made like in their garage just tinkering around like for a science project. Meanwhile, they got these dogs out that can't be killed. So, all right, our jobs are safe for a while, but our lives are not. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
God.
With any of this stuff, it's going to follow the money. And right now, construction, you can usually get, I don't want to say fairly cheaply, but you can get like, it's going to cost a lot less to get a laborer than it is to buy like a humanoid robot.
Yeah.
And these people are going to do the things that are going to get them money. So there's no real incentive for the robot makers to be making these unless they can make it in a cost efficient way, which it sounds like they haven't yet.
Yeah.
They do have certain things like incredibly repetitive motions, like they have bricklaying robots I saw.
Oh.
Which that makes sense because that's just like that's just a repetitive motion.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to bricklayers, but I do think that they will be out of jobs pretty soon because that's like and even with bricklaying, it's like there's no like it's you're usually just doing like squares. It's nothing like crazy.
Well, let's not poo-poo on the bricklayers out there.
I'm
they do lots
saying,
of cool stuff.
Sure. Okay.
Don't poo-poo on the bricklayers.
I'm not poo-pooing on the bricklayers. I'm just saying that there's certain things where there's like an amount of artistry to it that I think that will be a human element that we will not be able to lose. But I think bricklayers, unless they can find some sort of some real artsy stuff.
There's tons of artsy stuff in bricklaying.
Like what?
Like just all kinds of stuff, like, arched windows and like just all kinds of cool stuff. But like most brickwork, like on a, the majority of commercial facade, like pretty simple, straightforward. I can see it's a very repetitive thing for a robot to just like, slap the mortar on there.
Yeah.
I would love to see one that like is not quite calibrated correctly, and they just like let it, they just like cut it loose and like come back at the end of the day. And it's like, oh my God, what happened? That would be funny. And then the robot just has like a sheepish look of shame. Like, oh no.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Don't put the robot dog on me. All right. Well,
yeah. So, and also a lot of these things, the advancements in robotics for construction are also a lot of safety things.
Okay.
So it's not humanoid things that are going to replace jobs. It's things that will still be essentially controlled by humans, but in a much safer way for them to not be, doing shingles on a
roof that's upside down.
2-pitch roof or whatever.
2-pitch is so shallow. Like that's like you're not even supposed to put dimensional shingles on anything less than a 3. But our roofer recommends a 4. So
okay, any kind of
Something dangerous. How about
something dangerous?
Something dangerous. Something dangerous.
Yeah. So I think that would be great if we can make things less dangerous for people, but they still don't lose their job.
Like, I've been seeing a lot recently. So on our Facebook account, the business one, it still has like a news feed and everything. You know what I mean? On the Premier Facebook page. Like you go onto the account and it still has like your news feed.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't know anything about us individually. So like it just populates the most random stuff. Like I'm getting an insane amount of disc golf stuff.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know that was a thing, but it thinks I'm very interested in that. But another thing that I've been seeing a lot of is the people that climb those high towers to change the light bulb.
Oh.
And I just saw one yesterday. It was like, this man makes $20,000 every time he climbs this tower to change out the light bulb twice a year. Which seems like I don't know if that's totally true, but something like that totally maybe a robot could do.
Let that man get 20 grand. I would do that for 20 grand.
I don't know if you'd be able to.
Why?
Because you'd get scared.
I don't think so.
You don't think you'd get scared?
No, I mean, yes, I would get scared, but not so scared that I'd be like, I'm so scared I'm not going to get that 20 grand, you know? Like, I'm going to power through it.
I don't know, because like the thing probably sways like...
Oh, for sure.
Probably like
You're
10 feet.
It. Yeah.
Like, you probably feel like it's going to fall over when you're up that high.
I don't know if it sways 10 feet. That seems like a lot.
I bet it does. We'll look into that, but... All right.
But yeah, I would do it, but I would do it scared.
Well, yeah, of course you'd do it scared. I feel like you'd physically just lock up.
Why?
I don't know. I think I would too. It's so, you're like so high in the air. So high.
Yeah, I think that man should continue to be able to get his, if he's getting 20 grand for that, I think he should be able to do it. And I hope a robot does not take that man's job because that's cool.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, hopefully not. All right. So what else we got going
on? Let's see. Do you want to talk about robots more?
Yeah. Okay. I definitely do. That's all I want to talk about, to be honest. All right.
Okay. What?
Why don't you preface what you're going to say? I'm going to grab another Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm going to see Jerry Seinfeld tonight.
He's still touring? I guess so. I did not know that. He's real wholesome, right? Like he doesn't make dirty jokes. That's his whole thing. Like I obviously know Jerry Seinfeld. I'm not saying I don't know who he is, but like that's his whole shtick.
I don't think that's like his shtick. I think it's just like he's not like vulgar, but it's not like, I don't think that's like part of his shtick. Like he's the wholesome guy. I think he's just like, like the show. He's kind of just like your everyday life kind of observations.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not terrible. I don't know. So
I'm sure it won't be. He's
anyway, that's why I'm having 2 Red Bulls because I got a long night ahead of me.
Yeah, going out
on
the town, going into the city,
the big city.
Okay, so another use for robots is demo, land grading, and farming, which I think is so cool because remember we recently went to Nebraska for a work trip. And we drove by this field of just massive farming equipment, which we live in the Garden State, but I just don't usually see that kind of farming equipment. But these are like...
We saw it? Did I say it?
Yeah. Yeah, remember? It was like between the place we were going and the hotel, there was like a massive
like the dealer.
Field. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was a dealer of massive farm equipment.
Yeah.
And we were looking at it, we're like, oh my God, that's like crazy. And then the people were explaining to us that it is completely controlled by like GPS. You just like set in its coordinates and it just goes, which
it's kind
of like a robot.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's for farming. In construction, it's kind of like they'll have these things that have the same technology, but it's for like land grading, which I could see that would be.
Oh yeah,
that would, you set your
pitch and your
set whatever you want to do, tell where to go, done.
That
seems easy.
It seems easy, but it also seems a little scary. Like this gigantic robotic bulldozer is like, becomes sentient and is just like
demoing everything.
It
doesn't know where to stop.
Anyway, totally unrelated, but I had an idea to make like a very realistic, lifelike mini city out of cardboard and then dress Max up in a Godzilla costume and let him trample it. Not related, but sort of. So
that would be very
throw
cute.
that
and
out there.
If you do that, I hope you record it so we can all see it.
Well, yeah, of course I would. All right. Yeah, I could. And funny enough, well, actually not funny at all, but I have heard a lot about those GPS tractors or combines or whatever they use for farming.
Combines, that's the word.
I think combine that's what like harvests the stuff. Maybe that's like the thing with the big.
Yeah, but it's like the biggest one that has like those huge wheels on the side. Right?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure, but with that GPS setup, like it's amazing how much more efficient they can make planting the crops, like how much closer they can get it together. Like the GPS can calculate like exactly how to maximize like the yield from that plot of land, which over like 1 acre, it's pretty important. But then you times that by like 50,000 acres or whatever, like on these huge commercial farms, it's like you can be like upping the yield by, I don't know, a lot. By this like small minute adjustment, which is pretty crazy, pretty cool. And there's just always more people around, and everybody needs to eat. So it's important that we really maximize how much corn that we're harvesting, so that we can make it into corn syrup and put it in our cookies. You know?
Yeah. Corn syrup is in everything.
It's in everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that I don't know, would you consider that a robot, or is that, because it makes it, the stuff that I was seeing makes it sound like that's, like everyone's worried about like an actual robot taking your job, like it's going to be a carpenter at some point, which maybe in the future, it won't happen in our lifetimes, that like
not with that attitude.
A robot is, well, with my attitude, I'm not going to be the one developing robots, so.
No, with that attitude.
I don't want to.
Okay.
So I don't think that that's something we have to worry about, but
yeah,
it does seem like there's like plenty of use case where like if you just, you GPS a car to, these Teslas can drive themselves.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I don't know if that's technically a robot, but yeah, it's, I guess so. It's like kind of like an autopilot GPS assisted, thing, but it kind of goes hand in hand with human operation.
Right.
It just like takes some of the human error out of it, but I think in most of those cases with the farming equipment that's GPS assisted, like there's still somebody in the tractor during this time. I think these bulldozers that are doing land grading, I wouldn't be surprised if they're completely remote controlled. Like
I think the farming equipment is completely remote controlled.
Oh, really? There's nobody even inside it?
That was my understanding, but maybe
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
not
not sure. I'm not a farmer. Not yet.
I'm not a farmer either.
Not yet.
Oh, you're gonna buy some land.
I am gonna buy some land.
Where are you at with the land? You have it yet?
Pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
That's exciting.
Possibly. Not ready to talk about it in public yet. No public forum, but there might eventually be a premier dream shop build series.
Wow. How cool.
Be pretty sick, yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Are you gonna be jealous if you have to come to work and help me build my dream shop?
Why would I be jealous of that? I still work
Everyone's
here in
jealous
this
of
scenarios,
land.
right?
Yeah, but I get to live there on my land.
I wouldn't want to live where I worked, so that sounds fine by me.
Oh God, do I want to live where I work? No, acquiring land is the most efficient way to assert your dominance, right? Does it still go by those like 1800, 1700 rules?
So, yeah.
You know,
you have to be a prominent landowner
the larger
in your area,
the
or else you have no
land,
respect.
the larger the amount of respect you garner. I hope so.
I think that your vote's going to hold a lot more weight now or something. I think that's how it works.
You get
more votes?
Definitely. I think so. I'm not even registered. I'm going to have to work on that. Anyway. But no, maybe that is something that's going to happen in the future. I don't know.
Whoa. Teaser.
Who knows?
Tease the people.
Yeah. We've already talked about that being one of my dreams. To have not a crazy amount of land, but a little bit of land. Pole barn.
Pole barn.
The pole barn is like essential to this. Either
is the pole barn the dream or the land the dream?
Well, you need the land to have the pole barn.
What if you had land and no pole barn and no
no house?
What if the township was like, can't build a pole barn here?
Then I'm gonna check with the township first.
So the pole barn is the dream, is what I'm getting at. The land isn't the dream. The pole barn is the dream.
It goes hand in hand.
Semantics. Okay.
It goes hand in land. The pole barn is definitely essential to the dream. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe some robots will build it for you.
Maybe. That'd be pretty sick.
Okay, moving on.
Yes. What else we got?
Robots. More robots.
More robots?
No.
Okay.
Kind of. 3D printing.
Yeah.
Whole structures.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Where were we that we...
IBS.
IBS.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see it. I don't remember if you... Did you see it?
I didn't. Why didn't we? Why didn't we go see it?
I'm not sure. But they were 3D printing a structure in the parking lot.
And we didn't see it.
And we didn't see it.
Yeah, why didn't we go see it?
But everyone was talking about it.
We should have went and seen it.
I know, that was a mistake. There was a lot to see at IBS. There's so much to see.
Yeah, it's so crazy there. They were building something kind of small. I think they weren't building like a... It was a structure, but it wasn't like a home, I don't think. Yeah.
It'd be like a shed. But either way, it seems like they're making pretty decent strides with making this
like a real
tangible thing for the everyday person, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're built, I mean, it's concrete, so it's like it's just, they're all going to look the same is my problem with it. And I don't like that. I don't like taking I feel like homes are such personal, warm things.
Definitely.
That taking... and that's why I would never...
It takes the soul out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like part of being in a home is like individually crafting this space to be your own. So to me, to have all of these houses that look the same, and that's why I don't really developments are great and they're beautiful and the homes are wonderful, but I personally wouldn't want to live in a development because I wouldn't want to know the exact layout of my next door neighbor's house. You know, I just like it when everything looks a little bit different. It gets too Pleasantville-y to me.
Yeah.
When everything all looks the same. So I feel like that's what's happening here. And it kind of just feels like you're creating this little dystopian concrete house world. And I don't love it. But it also seems kind of cool for if you can craft some sort of easy domiciles for homeless people or something, then that's a great use case for that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or any kind of low income housing. That's wonderful for these people to have a place to live. So
yeah. And if you think about it, the concrete is just the building material. So a lot of design things can come into play to differentiate it from another model. Like houses are made out of wood and, siding and stuff like that, but you're able to make them look very different, and then you could paint it.
I know, but it's gonna
paint it like a nice color if you want. So it's like a nice pink concrete house.
I would love a pink concrete house.
Yeah, there you go. See, changing your tune already.
No, I mean, yes, I understand that you can do things like that to make them look different, but they're all going to be the same.
Yeah,
they're all going to have the town that we are currently working in, which is next to the town that we both happen to live in. All of the houses were built in the same era, and there's every single house in the whole town is one of 5 models. It's every single house looks the same. Yeah, basically. And I feel like that's just, I don't know. That seems like they're going to do that because it's the most efficient thing. There's going to be 5 models you can choose from, and then that just seems like
endless
it just takes
options.
Yeah, it just takes
5.
Yeah. It just takes the personality out of building, and I think that there's so much for crafts people to put into a home. That just makes it feel sterile to me.
I agree. I totally agree with that. And that's something where me and Sarah kind of differ, because we're sort of looking into possibly getting a new house eventually. And she's more concerned about what the interior layout is. And she's like, I'd be fine living in development. Look, it's got this big dining room and everything. And I'm like, I want a house that when I drive up to it, I feel inspired by the house itself. I want to live somewhere that's wow, this is a cool, especially if it's going to be, I don't like the term forever home anymore, but if it's going to be like a house that, you're probably going to live in for a really long time.
Why don't you like forever home?
I realized that it's kind of, it's like claustrophobic.
It's too much pressure.
It's so much pressure. Like I'm just about to turn 35 and like, I really have to make this decision. The next house I buy, like this is going to be my forever home. It better be a good decision. So I made that mental shift that I'm just going to call it my next home.
Okay. Yeah. I like that.
So like, I'm not like trapped. I'm not trapped like a demonized rat in this idea. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, I want like I want the house to be like a reflection of who I am as a person,
Yeah.
So just chaotic everywhere. But I agree with that. Like this, it should, be like some sort of representation of who you are. You put your own kind of, flair on it, or, it should be uniquely yours, not just like that dystopian concrete world where, I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's what all of this, like any advancement is trying to like streamline the process. Yeah. And it takes the human element out of things. And
it's sucking the soul out of it.
It is. And I feel like even nowadays, like when I was a kid, there was a place down the road called Howard Hill. Do you remember that place? And it was like, it was a furniture place. And it was.
That's not there anymore?
No, it's a Habitat for Humanity now.
Wait, where was it?
On
next to Village Thrift?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's not there anymore?
No. And it used to be like real handcrafted wood furniture. And then I think at some point they sold anyway, and it wasn't anymore. But now if I wanted to go get like real handcrafted wood furniture, I would have...
Lancaster.
Okay, I'd have to drive 2 hours to go buy some furniture from the Amish. But...
I think it's pronounced Amish.
But like that's not a thing anymore. And it's like... Everyone's like, oh, you just go to IKEA and buy your particle board furniture and put that together. It's going to fall apart in 2 years. Like, I feel like we're just IKEA-ing these houses.
Domiciles?
Yeah. And I think it's sad. It's like you're just taking the craftsmanship out of everything. And it's in the name of efficiency, which efficiency is great. I love efficiency. But at what cost?
And to
what is the cost?
To what end? To what end? Yeah.
To what end?
It's like you're trying to streamline past all these things when really that thing was what you missed.
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Click?
No.
But you've never seen that?
No, and you talk about it a lot.
Do I? I think about it a lot. He keeps fast forwarding through all these things.
Yeah.
And, you'll definitely cry if you watch it.
I'll make a note to watch it.
Oh, you got to watch it.
But that's definitely what it feels like. It feels like everyone's like, oh, I got to make everything so efficient because...
Because why?
Because I don't have time. And it's like... Okay, well, this is getting meta now, but it's like, for what? What are you... Enjoy the process.
Yeah, enjoy the process. Oh, I have to get all this stuff done before I die. It's true. It's true. We need a mental shift in just our ideologies as a society.
And yeah.
Yeah, everything needs to be thrown away in a couple years so you can buy a new one.
Yeah.
Churn and burn.
Yeah. And it's so sad to me.
It is so sad.
Okay, so beyond 3D printing, another thing that is trending in home development is kit homes, which this actually is not like a super new thing because there used to be those like Sears houses where you'd like just pick your house out of catalog and then they'd, I don't know, mail it to you.
Yeah, it would come in the mail. It'll come in 7,000 easy shipments.
I
think they would just drop it off. They would get delivered. Yeah. Has like probably on a truck or something.
And I think that people were doing it before Sears was doing it, but I think Sears was the most famous one doing it.
Yeah. My mom grew up in one.
Did she?
Yeah, her parents built it.
Interesting.
Yeah, they bought a plot of land in Cinnaminson.
Okay.
And I believe the only thing that you had to do was get the foundation poured and built, and then everything came in a package, basically. Yeah. And like, you picked out all your options and you framed it up and, everything was there. And I don't know if it was like numbered but basically it came in a kit and you built the house and it's still there.
That's pretty
Original
impressive.
Siding, everything still on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great job, Sears.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went on a little bit of a rabbit hole with the Sears homes too, because apparently they were pretty good, and there are like a lot of them still standing. And also they wanted to get away from that thing where everything looks the same, and they made like, I forget what it was like 40 different models. So good for them on that. So it's not a completely revolutionary idea. However, with all this like robotics and technology and manufacturing advancements, they have like really made it another thing that's very accessible and financially responsible for people who want this option.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised to see like a revitalization of that business model, Sears thing.
Yeah, I think
maybe did Sears go bankrupt? They did, right?
They might have went belly up, yeah.
Okay, so maybe they won't be doing it, but maybe somebody else will be doing.
I think Sears is still around. I'm not sure in what capacity, but lesser than they were.
Well, maybe this is what brings them back.
I doubt it. But no, that stuff's, I mean, like UFP, they have a huge part of their business, UFP Site Built, which is, prefabbing wall systems and trusses and all that kind of stuff. And you definitely are seeing, I mean, things like trusses, like, it's a roof system that's built off-site and then shipped and just installed. Wall systems are like that now. Floor systems, all kinds of stuff is moving in that direction, and the efficiency comes from building it inside in a warehouse, like in a repetitive way, and instead of building on site, you're more like assembling on site. So it takes a lot of variables out of it. So I think there are going to be a lot more advancements around that. And you're seeing things like all of the mom and pop truss manufacturers like are all gone. What?
I know, that's a funny concept. Mom and pop truss manufacturers.
Well, I mean, there used to be like a local truss company like everywhere, but now it's like 84 Lumber, UFP, Builder's First Choice, like those they're buying up every single like part of the vertical, model or whatever. So you're going to see like these big companies are making moves in these directions to like streamline that process from taking it from timber to something that is built into a house and having that be assembled in the easiest way possible, building it in a controlled environment, and then shipping it out to you to assemble on site. I think my prediction in the next like 5 to 10 years, you're going to see big advancements around that.
Yeah.
Just predictions.
I would guess that. And also, I feel like that is one of the things that style is also, usually those kinds of things predicate style, but I feel like style has already kind of moved into a very modular fashion. Like things that like the whole minimalism thing and houses now are built very square and modern and have that very
everything's built out of a shipping container.
Like, that would be very easy to like. My house is a Victorian house. That would be incredibly difficult to like do all the molding and all that kind of stuff in like a factory kind of setting, but like a modular house that's very modern and sleek and square and right angly, that would be very easy to do. Yeah. In that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot less like accoutrement. A lot less little ticky-tacky stuff or tchotchkes.
Things to dust.
Things to dust. You're probably up to your ears in things to dust.
Oh my gosh, I am.
God. That's very interesting. I think we'll see a lot of changes around that, and I think that is exciting, a lot less scary than the robots like killing us with their robot dogs.
Yeah.
And ordering in those robotic drone strikes.
Right.
God, that's scary.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, that's pretty cool.
All right. Well, I actually had a lot more to say about this.
Yeah.
But we are at the point in our episode where we have to do a bad sales story.
Because we're
up against time right now. So. All
right. Well.
What do you got, Sean?
Okay. So I was at this call and this robot came out and its dog killed me. So scary. No. Let's get into it. Our bad sales story brought to you by Groundwork.
Yes. All right. Let's. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I don't know this one, so.
You excited?
Right. Yes.
All right. This one was sent in by Dan Radner. And I really like this one.
Okay.
So he goes out to, a typical call.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't actually even say what he was going out to the project for in the email, but
a mystery call.
Mystery? No. I mean, he didn't specify to us what he was going for.
Oh.
Just meets the client, goes
ballsy.
there, and I think everyone can relate to this a little bit that's done site visits with people. You get these people that are just so chatty and they want to talk about everything that's like not related to what you're actually supposed to be there for. Mm-hmm. So he goes to this appointment and, has like an hour slotted for this and goes, and the guy's got a lot of land and he's got like some old cars over here and he's got like a shed with a bunch of like old like tools and just random stuff. And he's like walking him around and everything that they pass, he like has this huge story about. And he's like, well, yeah, this old car here, this and that, then walks by something else and is like just going on and on trying to tell a story. It's like he hasn't talked to anybody in like years. And eventually it gets time. Dan had another appointment, like something pressing, that he couldn't change. And
places
he's like,
places to be.
And he's like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to come back. I have to leave now. And he left and never got a call back. That was just it. He just went and it was really like this guy just like.
He just needed a friend.
He just needed a friend. Maybe that's why I didn't specify like what he was supposed to be there for, because maybe the guy didn't even tell him what he was supposed to be there for. But we've all been there where it's just like people just want to talk to you and go on these stories and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, stop it. I've definitely been there a couple times, not to that extent, but I can relate to that. That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
So don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that if you're
eliminate the chit chat.
Eliminate the chit chat, and you can do that with Groundwork. So use code Hardworking Happy Hour 50 for 50% off your first 2 months.
Yes.
And but that's a good story. I like that.
That is pretty funny.
I like that.
I feel like sometimes that would be really annoying if you were just meeting that person, but I feel like that happens a lot too with just clients where you're just trying to work and they're just chit chatting the whole time. And it's like,
for sure.
I love the chit chat. This is so nice to talk to you, but like, we need to get some things done.
That's what I'm there for. Cause like, I'm not really doing much anyway. So I can
you can feel the chit chat.
I can pull that person away and let everyone else work while I just, kind of rap with the chat.
Yeah.
Rip rat chit chat. Anyway.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
All right. Well, do you have any closing thoughts on the future of construction?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. And it's not necessarily on the specifics of the future of construction, but it's the future of anything.
Oh, wow.
We spend so much time sitting here thinking about the possibilities and what could happen and what are the repercussions of this technological advancement, when really a lot of times thinking about it and stressing about, hey, it might take my job, all of these things, a lot of times you're going to be more stressed out by just the thought of what could happen than just rolling with it when it does happen. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times the things that you think of and make up in your head about the future are scarier than the future actually is. So be on the lookout for new things that come around. The world's always changing. It's going to continue to change, and it just might start to creep into your professional life as a tradesperson. But as long as you embrace it and, just don't be stuck in your ways, I think, as always, change is an opportunity to grow, and you should take it as a signal that, you know what, it's time for me to grow a little bit. Spread those wings and fly away, baby. Do you like that?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really beautiful.
I appreciate that.
Profound. Beautiful.
I appreciate
Wonderful.
that. So I guess that's all we got for this week.
That's it. That's this week.
All right. Well, it looks like we have a lot more to talk about, so maybe we'll touch back on some of those topics a little later in the future.
In the future.
So till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.